It is Monday. We made it to Alabama to our first stop. We're not going to get unloaded until the morning, so I'm trying to make today a productive day. So over the course of me being in Utah during like my PSD training phase, the orientation phase up until today, I've been getting emails and like comments from different people. So about 20 to 25 people at this point have asked me to do my version of a pre-trip, which my version is just Prime's version, I guess, just hearing me do it. So I'm gonna try to get those done. I keep telling everybody that I'll do it, and I keep like putting it off or whatever. But so today I actually did I think what I'm gonna do is post them in sections, like each section of the pre-trip versus one long video of the whole pre-trip. So today I did the engine compartment, and after each section what I'll do is I'll actually like take a picture of the pages of Prime's little handout they give you. It's like a 10-page handout, and I will try to post a picture of the pages that go with the section I did, so you can actually see the wording of it, how Prime has, and then I'll like actually point to the different sections, or not to the different sections, but to each different part of, you know, on the section of the pre-trip. So like if you're trying to learn this ahead of time, you can like visually see what these different things look like. So today is going to be the engine compartment. I've already done it, so you'll notice it's more lighter outside when I did it earlier. But I'm going to go ahead and post that, and then I'll try to work on, I would do them all today, but the reefer unit is on, and it makes it hard to do like the coupling and the fuel, driver side fuel area, and even the trailer, because I have to be right up on it to like point to the different things for you guys, and it's just too loud the closer I get. So the engine compartment excuse me, was far enough away where I was able to get to that today, even though the reefer is still running. You'll probably hear in the background, but it's far enough away where it kind of worked out. And I would do the end cab today, but my trainer is in there asleep. So when I do the end cab, I'll include the air brakes all together, like the end cab going into the air brakes. So yeah, so look forward to those coming, but I'm gonna go ahead and put the engine compartment right here, right now. And I hope everybody has a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Starting my pre-trip, I am looking at the front of the truck to make sure it's not bent, leaning to the left or the right. And I'm looking under the truck to make sure I don't see any leaks. Then I'm coming to my passenger side engine compartment. My belt-driven alternator is properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. The wires are connected. The belt is not cracked or frayed, and the free play is between 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch. My passenger side general hoses are properly mounted and secured at both ends, and no abrasions, bulges, or cuts, and they're not leaking. Now I'm going to go to my driver's side of the engine compartment. My general hoses on the driver's side are properly mounted and secured at both ends. No abrasions, bulges, or cuts, and they're not leaking. My coolant reservoir is properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, filled to manufacturer specification, and not leaking. My oil dipstick is properly mounted and secured, and it's filled to manufacturer specification. My belt-driven water pump is properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. The belt is not cracked or frayed, and the free play is between 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch. My coolant, or my power steering fluid reservoir, is properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, filled to manufacturer specification, and not leaking. My gear-driven power steering pump and gear-driven air compressor are properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, and they are not leaking. My spring mount, properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. My leaf spring, properly mounted and secured at both ends, and not cracked, bent, or broken, and is not shifted. My U-bolts are properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, and there are none missing. My shock absorber, properly mounted and secure at both ends, not cracked, bent, or broken, and is not leaking. My steering linkage, or actually my steering gearbox, is properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. My hoses is properly mounted and secure at both ends, no abrasions, bulges, or cuts, and is not leaking. My steering linkage, which consists of the pitman arm, the drag link, and the tie rod, is properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken, and is not missing any of the 3 cotter pins or castle nuts, which are 1 castle nut cotter pin, 2 castle nut cotter pin, and the 3rd castle nut and cotter pin. My slack adjuster and push rod is properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken, and with the brakes released and pulled by hand, don't pull any more than 1 inch. My brake drum or brake chamber is properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken, and not leaking air. My brake lines is properly mounted and secure at both ends, no abrasions, bulges, or cuts, and is not leaking air. My brake drum, properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. My brake lining is properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken, free of oil and debris, and the friction material is not worn dangerously thin. My hub seal, properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken, and not missing any bolts, and filled to manufacturer specification. My lug nuts are properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. There are none missing. There's no powder trails or rust residue, and there are no cracks along the bolt holes. My rim is properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken, and there are no unauthorized welds. My steer tire is no abrasions, bulges, or cuts to the side, to the tread, or the inner side. It's filled to manufacturer specification, checked with an air gauge, and my tread is not worn more than 4/32 of an inch. And that is how quickly you can do a engine cab pre-trip. Once you know where everything is, even if you go out of order, it's pretty simple because you just look at every item and make sure that I didn't miss anything. So I walk back. Before you tell the examiner that I'm done, you can walk back and you can take a minute. He'll stand and wait for you, and you kind of just look over everything and say, okay, in your head to yourself, you're thinking okay, did I miss anything? And as far as I know, on the one that I just did for you guys, I didn't miss anything. So that's when you would turn to the examiner and say, okay, Mr. Examiner, I'm done with my engine pre-trip. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Hopefully that helps everybody.